Concave, boy. Jimmy on the beat, boy.
With regard to the astro-theological perspective of intuitively observable celestial phenomena, a spell-binding splinter of the collective unconscious has endured centuries of totalitarian sorcery. As we live through a time where this testable true earth revelation often induces a complete shock to the core, the awakening of the masses seeks a binding agent to connect us all back to the absolute truth about this realm. Step closer into the veil and unleash truly magic properties by accessing realms beyond, not with a billionaire's rocket ship, but with the power that's always existed within you to do so all along. School prisons and money-hungry colleges were never going to tell you anything about this. This book is crucial.
Suicides on one. One. Suicides, motherfuckers. One. Shouts to dome. We're all in. Fuck it up. Do it again.
Rumble YouTube family, what's good? What's happening? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday. Down here with Ironwork 92,000. Woo! The beginning of the week. Actually, yesterday was the beginning of the week, but this is the beginning of the work week. So let's grind them out, huh? Shall we? Anyway, before we roll into business, let's greet the Foundry. It's good to see y'all today on a Monday. Hopefully, everybody had a good day today, whether you are at work or you are at home chilling or you just had the day off, whatever. Excuse me, all that good stuff. So let's prepare for the week, shall we? Heresy Seed, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Much love, much love. Welcome, sir. JJ in the Foundry. Good to see you, sir. Shannon Emerson. Damn, that's a blast from the past right there. Shannon E, I haven't seen you in a while, but it's always a pleasure. Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. All right. Heresy Seed, Shannon Emerson. Centero 59. Good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Centero is here with us. Good. Nice and early, too. Brian Roy, King Roy, good to see you, sir. Always a pleasure. Man, you guys are here early. Well, I mean, even though it's late, but you know what I'm saying. All right, all right. Brian Roy is here with us. Taro, JJ, Shannon E, Godheart Guardian. Good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Always a pleasure. Here's Seed and True Earth Whisperer. Welcome, sir. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, so we are set. We are here. Let's rock. Yo, just started this whole TikTok thing recently, right? Um, it's really interesting, TikTok, how it works, and it's almost it's like a gigantic mansion of just things happening. I know. Look, man. I've never done TikTok before, so the experience is very new to me. All right. Just stumbling upon people doing talking about the craziest things. I went into a couple of rooms where they were yelling the N word, and I was like, "Yeah, this ain't this ain't my speed." And it's not just one room. This was a few rooms like this, and I was like, TikTok is like the wild west of internet craziness, I guess." And I'm a little bit okay. I'm new to the whole TikTok thing. I just am. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you want to know? It's still an experience I feel worth having. So um yeah, I look forward to this whole TikTok thing and where it brings me. Uh so I would say start getting on to TikTok if you can. If you can get on to TikTok, start getting on to TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Um just hearing myself talk is like a little weird. But yeah, man, if you guys could get on the TikTok, like if you can, if you can't, that's fine. I will do what I need to do here. But I tried to go live on TikTok, but for whatever reason, it's like you have to qualify, something along those lines. I forget what it is, but something along those lines where you have to do certain things in order to go live. Um, I thought I needed 50 subs. I've got my 50 subs, and I still can't go live. And whatever it is, what it is. I'm in no rush. We still have Rumble and YouTube, right? And here soon, I'm going to start weaning myself off of Rumble. There you go, sir. Yeah, I'm going to start weaning myself off of Rumble here shortly. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Not Rumble, YouTube. My bad. Not Rumble, but YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to start weaning myself off of that strictly because ah, YouTube is that old stuff, man. And it's for the, not that it's old, because old stuff could be good, but YouTube is very restrictive. And before that happens with Rumble and TikTok and everything else, I just want to just start weaning myself off of YouTube, even though that's where I've got the most people watching me, right? Is YouTube. It is what it is, man. I my thing is to get the right information, the truth out there. I'm not I'm not about the fame or nothing like that. I guess if that's what you want to call it, fame, mass appeal, whatever. Just as long as we get the information out there. And whatever it is I say that resonates with other people that have a bigger voice, then they could take what I say and actually use it, right? Use it in their own way to move more people. I'm fine with that, just as long as the information gets out there. All right, so who else do we have that I haven't greeted yet? God's watching this flat earth. Welcome, sir. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Geo, good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Geocentric Truth is in the foundry. Yes, sir. Warrior coming out and playing with us. How you doing, sir? Warrior's here. Been talking with him quite a bit. Been talking with Warrior quite a bit on what's that crazy thing? Snapchat. Yeah. I think it's is it Snapchat? No, Instagram. I get those two confused all the time. The gram, they call it, whatever. Harmon, good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Roger Ledwell, always at work. Huh? I would have been here earlier, but I was at work. Roger's always at work. So it's all good, Raj. I know. You holding it down on that end. I'm cool with it. Um, yes. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna start a little bit early. And let's talk, man. Let's talk a little bit tonight. It's not gonna be too crazy, and I'm not gonna keep y'all too long, you know. So I'm gonna leave it open. I'm gonna kind of let a couple of y'all up, man. We'll just discuss some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I guess some of which I could talk with the groups of people that could maybe better help me understand what it is I got to experience today, on TikTok and in the TikTok world. It's a totally different animal. It truly is. Um, yeah, so there it is, man. Come on up. Come on up and join the live. Tonight on TikTok, or this afternoon, excuse me, I was on a live. The guy's not a bad guy. He owns his own business. He runs like a printing company, and it's a pretty successful one from what I'm hearing. Um, but here's the kicker. He is a former flat earther. He was a former flat earther. And I was like, when I got onto the panel, he let me on and we spoke and stuff. And we spoke about Urbano Monte's map because a lot of people that were on his panel they were globers, and you had like one other flat earther. He's a marine, and we got on there, we started talking, and we kind of did right by the community by speaking up for it and explaining certain things anyway. So I'm like, yo, I introduce myself, tell him a little bit about myself, cool. And then he says, yeah, I used to be, since I changed and left flat earth, and I'm hearing him and I keep hearing him say, since I left flat earth, since I left flat earth. And then I was like, you left flat earth? Oh boy. Israel does own TikTok. That's right, Godheart Guardian. You know what? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't even be on. Oh, TikTok owned by the Israelis. What isn't owned by them? Anyway, But so we were on there chit chatting, and I said, "Well, what made you leave the flat Earth? Like, what do you do now? Did you go back to the globe?" So automatically, I'm asking him if he went back to the globe, or is there something that maybe I'm not seeing? What else is there beyond flat Earth? And then he said, "So I'm a concaved Earth guy," and I'm like, "Concaved Earth? How how does that happen?" Yeah, no. Is it concave Earth or convex Earth? Convex Earth, where we're on the inside of this ball. That's what he's saying, is that we're on the inside of this thing. And I'm like, huh, okay. Like I'm interested in hearing this. Is it concave? Okay, Geocentric Truth says it's concave. Lowry, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. It's always a pleasure. Let's see. Harmon says, Vlad, you know they own everything. They own everything. If you didn't use anything, they didn't have their finger in. You just be sitting in the yeah. No, that's true. Like they own everything. I was gonna say, like, what is it that they don't own? They own everything. They own all the good stuff. So what can we do? We'd be sitting there making smoke signals. Um, so he's talking about this concave Earth, and then he's saying how that's why the flat Earth has no model. But I would beg to differ. Not even beg to differ. I'm not even going to go all there. My thing is, at the end of the day, give me curvature. That's it. I wouldn't call the earth level and flat if there was curvature all over the place. If there was curvature around, like this would be whiz bang and we're done. And then it's no longer a discussion. But it's really not a discussion as to whether it's a ball or it's flat because I don't have any ball evidence. I don't. You could you can make fun of me all you want. You could talk about my app all you want. All of that, but it's not going to make this place a ball. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's just not going to make this place a ball. So we go back and forth, and I'm listening to him, and then I relate to him my testimony. I'm like, okay, well, I did time in the military, and basically the whole time I was operating, I didn't realize that the whole time I was a flat earther. And then I hit them with off sailors based off of what it is they, depending on what it is they do, they are all flat earthers, all sailors, all sailors. And then we went back and forth, and then they were like, no, it's not how it works. It actually curves up. And I'm like, well, how does it curve up? It doesn't, like, I don't see where it's ever like curved up like that. I like, maybe listen, if there's somebody in here that has seen this place curve up, like, tell me about it. I'm all ears. Not that I don't believe anything. I've never seen anything like that. Who has seen this place curve upwards? Like like I almost want to pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming or not, because where is this thing curving upwards? And this is not a question out of rhetoric. This is a real question. Has anybody see this place curve upwards, other than the balloon go up and then it's got a it's got a fisheye lens. It flexes down and then it flexes up, and then the Earth freaking horizon does what it does, right? Uh, Curves upwards or curves downwards, depending on how the lens is looking at the horizon. And we've seen that a million times. Um, so right there, I don't know what. So that's the thing, Geo. I don't know what perspective they're looking out of, or what are they looking at. Where do they see this curve? Now the ball people, I know where they get their curve. I see where they think that they have a curve. We've demonstrated it a million times already, right? But I'm honestly taking a serious look, like, where is this curve that they speak of? Like, I want to see this upward curve. And so I'm like, it doesn't make any, I was like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, even pilots fly flat and straight. And then they're going back and they're yelling at me. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, well, they do. And like even their flight summary dynamic tells them that that's how you better fly this plane. If you don't think you need to fly that plane like that, well, that's cool, but you're not getting a license, not here at least, right? So they adhere to these rules, right? And they fly that plane straight and level. Now, with the exception, obviously, the nose up. When I mentioned that the nose was up around like 1 degree to 3 degrees, they said, and after I told them that, you know what they told me? And that's how you know it curves upwards. And I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me. It curves upwards. That's how you know because their nose is slightly upwards. I'm like, wow. Like it's it was so bizarre. So I sat in there and I didn't really argue with them. I just told them, I'm like, look, man, um, I didn't see no curve. I didn't see no curve. At this point, I'm not gonna give them no math, none of this, this and that. I'm not doing all that, right? I'm just giving them my testimony. Yes. And I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it. Now, to play devil's advocate, hear me out. To play devil's advocate, I did say, well, in the scriptures, oh well, not the scriptures, but rather in the Quran, they mention, I forget which verse it was. I'm not too familiar with the Quran, but I remember where they mention how Allah made the world as an egg. So my thing is, okay, so then are we on the inside of the egg? If we are, I could see something like this. But here's where we meet common ground, I feel. Here's where we but before we say that, let's think about the Norse depiction of the flat earth, right? So hold on. Let's look at that. Okay. And we could discuss that. And then in that instance, maybe I could see their argument a little bit clearer, maybe. But I've heard of Rising Earthers. I have God Heart Guardian, and I think that might have been to some degree some kind of psyop. I think that was. I have heard of Rising Earthers, and I used to see them a lot, and we had a couple of them in our midst, just starting stuff with people. They're not bad people, but it's just I almost feel as if that was a psyop. Okay, let me bring this up. Share screen. Uh huh. Allow. Boom. So, oh, no. Here we go. Okay. So I think you guys see this, right? We've shown this on a few episodes of ours where it shows the Norse depiction of what this world is, right? And so this is where we live. This is where we live. And then I think I said this is possibly the Black Rock, right? This right here in the middle of the world, the rivers that split that center land, possibly that North Pole area, these rivers, right? Yggdrasil, the world tree that sprouts, hits the dome firmament, that is like the top part of the egg. But even still, we live in the middle part, and none of this stuff is curving. None of this land right here is curving. Of course, with respect to the what's that, the mountains and the valleys and the hills and all that other stuff, it's still level. It still levels itself out once sea level comes into play, right? um but I think, and maybe I could be wrong, if they're talking about the world being concave, maybe they're talking about this outer shell, right? up above, and then down below. As above, so below. And then you got this other part of Yggdrasil. I think this is where it gives you roots and then snakes at the roots, which I always thought this was weird. Whatever. But yeah, so this. Now, I find this to be not, I wouldn't say odd, but it's telling this because in the scriptures, doesn't it say that God made the world uh, when God was creating the place, he separated the waters from the waters, right? When he separated the waters from the waters, he it sounds as if, and I'm not saying this is what he did, but what if he just had a bubble up top and a bubble down below, or just one bubble and stretched it out with air in the middle, with a piece of land in the middle, just like what they're depicting Norse wise. Who's to say? Who's to say? And this is me guessing, right? I don't even know if there's a firmament. Like I am a firmamentalist. I believe that there is a firmament or something protecting this realm that we live on that keeps the air where it is and everything else. I believe that, right? However, do I know that for sure? I can't say that I do. I can't. I can't do that and sit there and say that I do. But what I can say is that if there were a movement for a concave Earth, I think that would be it.
Yeah, it's a cheap read, but they're using the same tactics.
I think that would be it. I truly do. Matter of fact, before we continue, how do you guys hear me? How do you guys hear me? Hopefully, you guys are hearing me pretty well. Mm. Flat Earth, Eddie. Amen. I'm right there with you, homie. The Earth is not a globe. It's not a globe. I agree. Totally agree. So you see the map with four corners of flat Earth square. It looks concave. I think that's where this comes from, in my opinion. Okay, now I got you. I got you, JJ, and I think that's the Orlando something map of 18 something or the other. I remember what you're talking about, and it had those angels like in the corner. I remember that map. I sure do. I'll fetch it here in a little bit. And shout out to you, Effie Eddie. Good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let's see what we got. What we got here. What we got. Let's see. Just saying, concrete earthers have tried many times since 10 years I've been in. They make no sense. We'll just get up and go away, just like the rising earthers, by the way. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. It's strange to me the like I could see some of where they're coming from, and as soon as they said concave earth, those are the things that sprung to mind. Were the Norse depiction, what they said in the Quran, and how I imagine. And this is how I imagine if God were to make the world and he separated waters from the waters and he elongated and encapsulated this realm that we're in, this level realm that we're in, where our realm is in the middle, and then you got action down below and action up top, that you have a firmament. And then you have a down below firmament, a firmament down below like this, and a firmament up here like this, right? And it's like the top of an egg and the bottom half of an egg. And we just ride the middle. Now, um, I could I could see something like this. The only problem is, right, I myself have never seen the firmament. I have never seen the firmament. Now, does the CIA talk about it? Apparently they do in these documents. Did they have that special on Nova where Flat Earth Brothers were showing, Josh and Michael, I think it is. Hey, we're Josh and Michael, and we're the Flat Earth brothers. And I'll tell you what, my brother, though he's a historian, it's come to me that God has given us a special gift to reach out to the children. You know what I'm saying? Lowry, good to see you, man. Lowry, quiet than a motherfucker. You got that mute button on fleet.
How's that? Is that better?
That's much better, man. Fleet.
I had to pipe in because like the whole thing you're talking about, either the upward motion, convex, concave, whatever, um, it needs to be talked about, and I'm glad you brought it up because I
Yeah,
just kind of did a deep dive while you were talking about it. It was like basically
really.
arguing over specific details can be described in various ways depending on whether the intention is to point out unproductive bickering over technical nitpicking or a deep dive into supportive evidence. And I was like, this is kind of what this is what has become of something that the debate is over. It's
Right.
over, and you could see it as one way or another. And so I was like, I need to know these terms moving forward, like nitpicking, quibbling, pedantic, bickering, bike shedding, arguing semantics, splitting hairs. And these are the things that, like, I mean, it's not productive moving forward. I mean, I think everyone's been in this thing long enough. The debate's over, and so like you have to know the words now to what happens when you have people that still want to debate you on a topic that's done. It's done. It's finished.
Yeah.
They had 10 years to come back on all the topics and they haven't been able to do it. So like now you have to be able to you have to remember the debate tactics that these cats played because they either are being paid to do it or they're NPCs or whatever it is. And you gotta know what they're doing. You're like, dude, you're just like you're arguing like up and down semantic stuff that's just not useful to anybody anymore. It's just not,
Hmm. Yeah.
and like I had to pipe in for just a little bit because it's like I don't want to spend an hour of my life on creating just for the sake of creating content on the internet arguing over this or that, or like we know how water behaves. We
Yes.
know we know what generally what it would look like if you put water in a basin. They call it the Antarctic Basin or whatever you call it. And you've got some islands in the middle. That's where we live, and maybe there's some more, and we don't know yet. But like, I mean, really, like you're spending your countless valuable life energy arguing with people that will crush you in a millisecond over stupid shit. Just
Yeah.
stupid shit. I'm like, dude, come on, man. Your life would be exponentially better if you just like accepted the fact that water lays level, and we're on some islands, and there's a shore around us. And what's outside of that, we don't know. I don't. I mean, I have no idea.
It's so easy, right? They're like, well, they were telling, they were saying everything. It got so crazy that they said Urbano Monti was taking his flat map. We all know Monty's map, right?
Right.
They were like, Urbano Monti took that map from the globe. I sat there. I said, "Where did you get that from?
That's
Where did you get that
nonsense.
from?" So I showed them where the Monty's map was. A lot of them didn't know about much about the Monty's map. They were like, "Yeah, I heard about this or I seen this," and then I was telling them, "This is a wonderful map. Many of us flat earthers, true earthers, we go back to this map and use it as a reference tool, right?" And
Yeah.
it's an amazing map, not just as a work of art, but also when it comes to referencing things, whether they're still here, whether they're still used on contemporary maps, or whether they're not. And these are things that we still discover with this map. I think it's amazing.
Well, yeah,
So,
because the map itself is layered. It's not
y-
only does it give you lines of shore, it gives you histories. It gives you everything, and you have all this information in one single piece. Now, yeah, you
right,
need a wall to like actually be able to look at it, or the high resolution thing you sent me, which is basically, there's so much information in there embedded the way they knew how to do it, in cartography back then. We
hmm
have Google Maps now, whatever you want to make of that, but Google Maps is layered, just like Alberto Monti. Am I saying that correctly?
Urbano, like
Urbano
urban,
Monti. It's layered.
urban mountain.
Yeah, and it's layered. So like you go in, you look at this little bitty like inch by inch square, and you're like, there's something here, and you could spend 3 hours talking about the history of that little dot on the map and get more out of that than you could, with Google Maps right now, which I
Oh,
think is a distortion anyway.
right.
You
So,
know.
just eh, you know, trying to explain that to these guys. Do you know what they did to me? They were like,
Mm,
"No, you're wrong." Because here's the globe that Monty made. You know what they took me to? They took me to Rumsey's globe that he made with Urbano Monti's map. I
right.
said, I was like, Monty did not make any globe.
No.
He did not make a globe. He didn't. He said it clear and cut. He said, based on what many of these guys say is a globe, this is how all of this functions with Polaris right there. And he even draws it on his map, or somebody drew it into his map. Somebody drew that north center star into his map. Um, so like these guys are you know what? Let me stop talking about it and let's kind of go to it.
Let's dive in. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go. David Rumsey. Okay, so we're gonna look real fast. Let's take a look at Monty's map. Can you guys see it? Can you see it? Let me know if we can see it.
Yeah, I'll clear here.
All right. You got it? Oh, you got it?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's go here. Let's go to home. God dog it. Hold on. Damn it. There's always some damn adventures when it comes to these damn internet craziness, man. Anytime I do anything on StreamYard, I don't know. I wish they just brought back the old StreamYard because new StreamYard is a little bit wild. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get this right here. All right. Okay, there goes Monty's map. Let's go David Rumsey, Urbano Monty. Let's go there. And this right here. These guys swore up and down, and I'm going to show you guys here if you've never seen it. They swore up and down that this is what Urbano Monti made. Y'all see this? They think this is his creation. They think he made this globe.
That's made up.
Yeah, they made
Somebody
this.
somebody fabricated that.
Yeah, the Rumsey Center fabricated. You think Monty made this shit right here? You think that's his work? It looks if you color this brown, you know what this looks like. Anyway, but a brown starfish. Just kidding. Got jokes here. But yeah, so this almost looks like a Sarlacc pit. That's what I mean. That's what it looks like, the Sarlacc pit in Star Wars. But this right here, these guys swore up and down that he made that. So I had to tell them, no, this is Rumsey's creation. He did not make that. And look at that. True to life, they blur out what's going on in the north, like every other freaking globe. They either get rid of it altogether or they blur it out. Period. You know? And they put that freaking dust cap like they like to do with globes these days.
I
They
sent
put
you
a
a
dust.
link, Vlad, in
Yeah.
the studio chat, which is one of my favorite truth in plain sights of all time, which is like they just always were telling us the whole time, which is globes are their living room furniture.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh
they've
yeah.
always they are sold at face value as living room furniture. That's all it ever was, and they have to tell you. And there's a million of these examples. Um, you look on the bottom of a globe, they'll have a sticker not for
Wow.
it. There's a lot of different reasons that they'll do this, but it's just a company that wraps maps around a ball. That's all it ever was. And they tell you this in plain sight, and you'll have these people in the chats and be like, no, but it's not like, no, it actually is. It
It
actually
is.
is. They didn't start making these things. You know, they basically there's a company that wraps the maps around a ball,
The Italian
and
one. Is that the Italian one?
I'm not sure. There's so many examples of these. I've found one in real life. You turn a globe upside down. It's like it's not for educational purposes. They have to tell you the truth in plain sight. They have to. It's part of the code, right? And like you could show this a million examples of these. You know, people are like, oh, it's just Photoshop. No, I've found one that has one on the bottom, and but literally this. I remember this. It's like this is living room furniture. If you want to have a fashionable globe in your living room, buy a globe from us. And there's only I don't know how many globe companies there are, but there's not many,
Right. And
And it
they double as little portable bars as well. You
yeah,
can
yeah, you
open up
can
the
just
top
your
and then it's
top
got,
off, and
yeah, it's got your
I think
little
it's
ripple and stuff like that in the inside.
yeah, it's more useful as a bar. Really, it's like oh, that's cool, that's clever.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a wink, wink, hey,
Which
hey.
I've got my little reploge right here. You know what I'm saying? I got a little decorative globe right here.
I
Let me
mean, you
show
got to
you.
admit, it is a really fine piece of living room furniture. It really is. It really is. It's an interesting way to project, the shorelines, and it looks really good in your living room. Yeah. Will yours open up, and will there be some gin in there, or like?
Yeah, right. It's this little thing, man, and it's
Look, and
like,
it spins around, and
yeah,
kids like it a lot, and they're like,
yeah.
and they're even so, they're even so like assholey that they'll put the analima on there. And like I don't, don't pay attention to the analima. Don't. Yeah, it's just a thing that old map
Yeah.
makers would do. Don't worry about that or anything. That is actually truth in plain sight too. It's like they're telling you that they're admitting that it isn't spherical by putting the analima on there.
Yep.
And if and you try to explain it to somebody who's got a big antique globe in their living room, like I've got an antique globe. It looks good in my living room. I have lots of money. Look at, and I'm like, dude, there's an analima on there, and they'll be like, what is an analima? And I'm like, you don't know what an analima is? And then you're like, but it's a really cool globe. And then I'll go on to be like, you got ice in there? Maybe I can get a drink out of that thing.
or
Then they'll
or
be like, ah.
they double down. They double down. They're like, oh yeah, the analema that lets you know that it's a globe because fill in the bullshit. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's like,
Oh, you can tell it's a globe because the analema lets you know. You know what I'm saying? How it turns and spins on its axis. And I'm like, oh man, you just poisoning the well right now. You don't know what you're talking about. You
yeah,
fucking it all up.
and the thing about it is too is like a lot of photographers now are making a point. I'm starting to see a lot of these come out. They're taking the same picture at the same time of day. They just set an alarm, and they go out and do it. And there's one out there that's really great that they just did it for 3 years. They was like, I'm just going to do this for 3 years. I'm going to see what this is, and it's a perfect analema, and it's longer on the southern loop because it's traveling a farther distance and it's going faster. And you talk to somebody like that and that has the globe, and they're like, oh, the analema. They have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm like, they're telling you right there. They're telling you right there that this is a concept. It's living room fucking furniture.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's all. I'm ranting. I wanted to come on and say hi, and
Oh no,
I'm gonna
man.
let you
Right
I'm gonna
on.
let you keep going, and let's do a reckoner sometime in the future. Okay?
Yeah, dog. Drop me that link. Let's make it happen. Or give me a heads up and we could practice and everything.
Indeed. Cheers, man.
All right, peace, brother. Good to see you, man. That was Larry, y'all. Yeah. So it's just wild showing them that map. And then they went to see we told you he was a glober. I was like, oh wow. Like, ay ay ay. So I had to show them. I was like, look, there's a lot in this map that tells you things that you don't see anywhere. And then they were like, well, the globe this, the globe that, and you could tell that the concave earth, you can make a model of it. You can't do that with a flat earth or anything like that. My thing is this, man. At the end of the day, if we're on the inside of an egg, this world that we live on this world right here. We don't live on this world. We don't live on this world. We don't live on this world. We live on this world. We live on the if the earth was a pizza, that's the earth that we live on is the pizza of the earth, right? The box that's around the pizza, we don't live on that bitch. We live on the fucking pizza. The one where the mozzarella, the tomato sauce, and the pepperoni is at. That's where we stay. We don't stay where the cardboard is at. No, we stay on the pizza side of things. I don't want to sound like a maniac saying that, but I mean, these guys swore up and down by this concave earth, and they were trying to gotcha me. You had a math guy come in there. He's like, oh, so the math shows that it's a globe. And I was like, how does the math, what does the math have to do with anything? And he's like, so what are you saying, that my math is wrong? I'm like, what does your math have to do with reality? You know, because I was getting it from all ends. There was a lot happening at one time on this channel, and I didn't mind it. I was just giving them, the truth. Like, what does your math have to do with what's in front of us? He was like, oh, so the math does this, and I was like, yo, dude, I was like, your math doesn't give you a flat Earth, and then he said, well, so you're telling me that my 30 years? I said, I don't care if you did math for 50,000 years. I don't care. You need to make it a globe, which you can't. If you're trying to make it a globe, it's not going to happen. We have to deal with the reality of what we have. Like, I'm willing to listen to this concave theory of theirs. It's a theory of theirs. This flat Earth is the reality that we have. That's the reality until you could give us something different. I think that's fair. I mean, I gave them the fair shake. I'm like, well, I'd like to hear it. I'd love to hear about it. And of course, I did try to play devil's advocate to support some of what it is they thought, um, and consider it, right? Like, give it the old see, throw it against the wall and see if it sticks test. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but you don't have to be smart if you're observing and you're being honest with your observations. Um, really, that's what it boils down to, not just for Globers, but for everybody. Everybody. You just look and you just you give testimony based off of what you see, right? And then if there are things that maybe need to be moved, or maybe you need to see them again a few times in different environments, maybe that'll help you along. But if you're looking at it, well, yes, Serge, that's what they said, concave and or convex. That's what they said. But if you're looking at it from different perspectives and you're trying to figure it out, I think that's fair. That's fair because we're all trying to figure this place out. And again, this guy said that he was a former flat earther. And he said that I had seen him in other documentaries. I don't know who this guy is. I think they call him Ernie. Some of you guys might know him. Some of you guys that are familiar with the TikTok world, you might know who Ernie is, right? He's on the Convex Earth channel. Yeah, Convex this, Convex that, something like that. And his name is Ernie. He's doing well for himself. He sounds, and the reason I was attracted to these guys and their channel was because they weren't giving me a hard time. They seemed nice, and even though they kind of went back and forth with each other, um, it was still peace. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything wild going on. Let me show you guys what I printed the other day. So if you can't see it, that's the Statue of Liberty with a rifle in her hand. What do y'all think? You like? That's Lady Liberty. Or I guess you could say that's Apollo. I guess you could say that that's Apollo with a rifle in his hand and a freaking book with his wearing his toga. Lady Liberty's face looks like Martin Short. He looks like Martin Short in the face, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Looks like Martin Short in the face. But this is so far one of the biggest 3D prints that I've had. One of the biggest so far. Yeah. Took me a few hours and all. But yeah, that's That's what it is right there. That's one of my latest. Here's here's one that I have to redo because I didn't. Yeah, this is me starting out. All right, this is me starting out with some of the stuff that I made. I made a pencil holder, a dragon pencil holder. I love dragons, but this one is incomplete. So I'm gonna have to break this down. I'm gonna put this through the grinder, and I'm gonna turn this back into PLA. I'm gonna turn it back into usable filament because it's not complete. Here's I think you guys might have seen my griffin that I made. Here's a griffin that I made. This one's also incomplete. This is me starting out, right? So I've been putting a lot of hours on my print, my 3D prints. He almost looks like the that commercial, that not the commercial, in the beginning of a movie when it's got that unicorn, that alicorn come out, that horse, the Pegasus come out, the horse with the wings, like TriStar, right? TriStar Films, almost looks like that, but it's a griffin. It's a griffin, right? Pretty neat stuff. Here's another griffin that I made. There's another one that I made. Kind of hard to see with that bright ass light all over it. But yeah, here it is. So this is me starting out with my stuff, but that was like my first day, couple of days 3D printing and everything. So, oh, Sergey, Serge, excuse me. Um, the cost of the 3D printer, it's close to, it's like 350 for that one, that particular one. It was like 340, right? Yes, yes, I have a multicolor one. I do. And have I made I have made a couple of multicolored prints. I have. Yes, I have that. So far, Geo, the multicolor printer, no, it's not an Ender. I have an Ender. I have a Creality Ender 3 Pro. That one is one color. I have an Ender 3 Pro. That one I'm actually going to that's a little bit more, it takes a little bit more to make that like run. This is like plug and play. You know what I'm saying? And then you getting to work, you getting it like right off the top. Um, can I make a Gleason map? I think I could make something similar to a Gleason map, but there might be too many colors to make a Gleason map. There might be too many colors. Um, because this one relegates me to only four colors. This 3D printer. Gleason's map got red, blue, white, black. That's four colors already. Red, blue, white, and black. Um, I think there's green. Yeah, there is green actually. Right, green. Yeah, so I'll check it out. I'll see. I'll check it out. There might be a program for that for the Gleason map. But yeah, I'm like you guys already saw my my little star fort, right? I don't know if you could see it. That's my little star fort right there. That's an actual star fort right there. Um right here I made a Darth Vader giving a finger. Luke, go fuck yourself, Luke. Luke, you're an asshole. You cut my hand off, Luke. So that's a little mini Darth Vader. I'm going to give that to my brother. He's a big Star Wars fanatic and a Glober. So I'm going to give that to him. He likes Star Wars. Um, I made all sorts of stuff. I made some functional stuff. I made a spatula to get my prints off a lot faster without messing with my my tray. You know, it's fun. I'll tell you what, it is. Here's my thing. Like, I love tinkering with things, right? Uh, but I'd say the overall goal in this, because my oldest daughter is a big tinkerer as well. And she likes to make things, and she's more into making jewelry. I want to give her as many different avenues to run to. Um, uh, so it can kind of put her in a strong position to build whatever the hell she wants. Okay. I feel that 3D printing is the future, especially when it comes to these kids. And you could take it from using plastics to melting, get a better one, right? Maybe $2,000, $3,000, to melting like metals, right? Copper, aluminum, tin, things like this, using an extruder to make these types of objects, you know. Um, yeah, I think it's definitely worth the money. 3D printing, getting into a hobby like that, because if you really enjoy something like that, you learn a lot more about it, and then you roll on to things related to it that will kind of further what it is you've already learned and just make it that much stronger. And who knows what you could do with it? I don't know. I just want to put that out there. Now, resin printing is something I'm looking at. The only thing with resin printing is that I need to ventilate wherever it is I'm resin printing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my printing takes place in my basement. So I've got two 3D printers in my basement. I've got a Dremel 3D printer, and I've got the Creality 3D printer. Um can you paint? Yes. Yes, you can. You can paint them. You can paint them. I don't know what kind of paint that you could use, the Warrior. I'm not gonna say that I do. It might be acrylic. And if anything, I might use something like an acrylic, or I might just make it easy and use a spray paint. If it's one, maybe two coats, I might use a spray paint. You know, yes, they're expensive, but if you're not really into hobbies, but you kind of want to get into it, I think this is a safe hobby. I think this, unless you're talking about a resin printer. Yeah, so these, the PLA, the plastic, the basic plastic, it kind of leaves, you could feel the layering. If you scratch it, you might be able to hear it with my nails. Y'all might hear that crack crack crack. Yeah. So it's layered. This is layered, and you could tell the difference between a manufactured object like a GI Joe printed out of the factory versus a GI Joe that somebody might have made 3D printer wise, right? Now there are people out there, and I'm going to soon become one of them, that take their 3D printed objects and kind of give it the buffing and the sanding and all that stuff. I'm going to get into that because I like turning a lot of these things into something. I want to give it the old college try and just see if I can make it into as nice as something nicer than what it comes out of the 3D printer as, is what I'm saying, right? I want to see if I could do, and I think I can. Um, so you'll need small buffing tools. uh you'll need, of course, some paint, some wood filler and things like that, some nail polish remover. So it gets a little crazy, but if you're crafty and artsy, it's definitely worth doing, I think. Gets you out of the house and some good exercise. Yeah, that's right, man. There we go. Resin printers are expensive, but their print quality are 0.02 millib. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's the difference. Resin printers are something, yeah, totally different. Only thing with resin is that, using a lot of alcohol, getting the vapors and whiffing that down. I don't want to end up with mesothelioma and none of that bullshit that you see commercials at damn 2 in the morning, on TV about. I don't want to deal with that. I found an old atlas with a flat Earth map in it. Soon we'll put it on my channel. Sea lightning. Yes, I would love to see that. An old atlas. Yes. I would love to see that. Sea Lightning is good to see you, by the way. Geo Fe Eddie, I think I said hi. Mr. Super Sidewinder, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Geo, let's see. Let me go ahead and copy that and drop that in the Foundry. Let y'all have it. Boom. So yeah, man. Always something. There's always something on the printer these days, right? I'm building stuff for my little girls. Always building stuff for my little girls. Um, stuff for their jewels, things for their books, like little bookmarks and stuff like that. I'm making things around the house, pencil holders, things to effects to put items in, just to put things away. Um, I'm going to be making things for my postcards here soon. All right, so that's the 3D printer stuff. Not here to talk about that. Volume Music Journey, good to see you. 1362, welcome, sir. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So, speaking of the postcards, the hours, Old World Ruins and Structures. That thing is coming along smoothly. Spoke with the developers today. We have something that they're doing in the works, and then it will be something to be published here in the next week, within the next week. Okay. So between now and Monday, you should expect to see something hours specific. Yeah. Whew, the hours, it's going to be a climb, baby, but it's a climb that's worth climbing, I feel. So let's see. Apply primer, like filler primer, to hide layer lines and create a bonding surface. Paint, use acrylics through enamel or spray paints also work well. Okay, okay, all right. So, Mr. Super Sidewinder, if I'm going to apply an enamel to my 3D print, and guys, don't worry, I won't make this 3D print heavy, I promise, but I'm just asking a question. If I'm going to apply a primer to the 3D print, does it melt the PLA? Does it melt the outside? Is that how it turns those ridges, those layers smooth? Is that what's happening? Like fill me in, let me know. What's happening? Because I'd like to know. I would like to know. Geo. Check your Telegram. Yes, sir. Will do, will do. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just looking at something real fast. What we got here? Oh, okay. Wow. That is nice. Okay. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. Okay. Oh, but that's what it is. I figured that it could be made, but I thought it was going to be okay. All right. I see what you did there, Geo. All right. I know it could be made, but I thought those colors came with it. That's a lot of painting that I would have to do. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get my Picasso on. FE3D. Send you an FE3D printing model. Can you make it from it? Go over the Gleason map. Um, I'm sure that they have you can make a firmament. I have clear um I have clear filament. I have clear filament where I can make clear filament. Now, if it becomes layered, I would imagine that any clear filament that I use that winds up being layered, then it's not going to be clear like a pane of glass. Instead, it would be translucent, like an office, like a boss's office door. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to totally see through it, but you could see like the effects of a solid object in light, shadowing and stuff. So it wouldn't be totally transparent, it would be translucent. Expose it to acetone vapor to smooth it glossy before priming instead of painting. Scale it up and do your biggest print. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm going to do that. Yes, I am. I tell you, man, this whole this whole 3D printing craziness, some good stuff. It's some good stuff, man. This is a good time. Yeah, it sure is. I'm not gonna sit there and dwell on it all night. Definitely not. But uh, if you guys are still in the Matrix, if you guys are gonna shop on Amazon Prime, tomorrow's Prime Day. It starts Prime Day. I think for the next 2-3 days, something like that. I don't even know. But definitely look at it. Look at Prime Day to see if there's anything that you might need, like a 3D printer. I don't know. And here's another thing. If you wanted a 3D printer, check Craigslist because somebody's always getting rid of a 3D printer at like super cheap prices. And you can always, it's wild. You can always find them and they'd be in good condition. You could find these 3D printers. Hmm. They'd be in remarkable condition. So if you wanted to get yourself a 3D printer and you didn't want to pay all that much money and you wanted to get a good printer, check Craigslist. Craigslist is always popping with all kinds of crazy stuff. And yeah, I still use Craigslist. And no, ain't nobody going out there to try to, put hands on me or do some nasty stuff to me. It's Craigslist though. So there's that. Uh let's see what we got, what we got. What we got. What we got. Let me see. Let me see what y'all got going on here. Let me go ahead and let me drop this for y'all. Dropping it in one more time. Boom. And this is the last chance. Last chance. Last dance with Vlad. Yes, it's my last chance. For hardworking 3D parts, try nylon hard-working 3D parts. Okay, Mr. Soups. So, Mr. Soups, all right, guys, last question about 3D printing. Mr. Soups, what about PET G? So, not PET G, not PET G, as far as things that are heavy duty to be made with the 3D printer. On Oliver Tree. What's Oliver? Geo, I dropped the link in there, man. If you want to come up and you want to talk with me about it. What is Oliver Tree? An episode on Oliver Tree. I gotta look and see what Oliver Tree is. I don't know what that is. I ain't never heard of that. Oliver Tree. I have never heard of Oliver Tree. That is amazing. And thank you, Geo. Thank you for that. Let's see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So going once for bromance. Ain't no bromance happening here, homeboy. Hell no. Shit. Hell Hell no. Not in these neighborhoods, man. Not in this neck of the woods. Shit. Hell no. But oh my God. Who is this? I think I know who that was. I think that was Monkey Cat Pat Pat. You guys have been banned from this channel. I saw that and that looked like Monkey Cat. So you're no longer allowed on this channel. I wasn't playing games, y'all. I do not want you guys on this channel ever again. You guys broke my trust, and that's it. One time, and that's it. So, well, I guess you guys have the Mondays, and that's fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a case of the Mondays. We have them every week. It's all good. But check this out. I just wanted to get you guys on here to kind of discuss that. If you haven't found me on TikTok, find me on TikTok. You'll find me on. I'm easy to spot on TikTok. I got the face that you can't forget. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I didn't scare anybody. But yeah, man, find me on TikTok. I'm there. Vladimir Julian. You'll see me. It's easy. It's not hard. Um, and I guess I'll let you guys have it. Oh, and don't forget, we don't have anything for the hours as of yet. The hours we're rolling into phase three. I already mentioned that we are going into phase three of the hours. But we don't have a phase three pool going yet. We will though soon. We're gonna have a we're gonna have things available for anybody that wants to donate, right? And I would hope that you want to donate because we are at the third and last phase. We're there. But anyway, fam, did you get the video you had posted? Are you Geo? Are you talking about on the thing that you sent me? Let me know. Let's see. There's something I wanted to leave you guys also, so you could check it out. There's this guy, Open Your Reality. I talk about him a lot. I like this guy, right? I like this guy and I like his channel. And he's got some interesting takes on things. He had I don't know if you know, but he had Eric, is that, yeah, Eric Dubay. He had Eric Dubay on his channel. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave y'all with this. Okay, I'm going to leave y'all with this right here, family. Boom. Right there. Check this guy out. Open Your Reality. He's a pretty solid dude. And he's gone off. He's gone off. He's not working anymore. So, because he's doing that and he's going out on a limb, I wouldn't mind watching his stuff and supporting. And because I like his content. You know what I'm saying? I like what he delivers. Either way. Um, he's got an interesting take on things. He has Eric Dubay on. He's leaning towards the flat earth, but he's looking for not just the earth is flat, but also why, what's up, what's going on. And so uh much of his take involves um uh the celestial bodies, right? And I already gave y'all how I figured the celestial bodies work. And I think that there's some there's something there. I feel
I
that
got
there's something
something
there.
good for you.
RG,
I
what's
got
good,
something good for
RG?
you.
What's
Hey,
up,
what's
RG?
good, brother?
All
Yeah,
right,
go ahead.
man.
I'll let you finish. You said celestials, bro. I got something cool to tell you. Yeah, but when you get
Okay.
finished.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
all right. So you guys know, and like that's my story. I'm sticking to it. The whole the sun and the moon's relationship as far as life is concerned. When people are born, right? I just want y'all to think about it. Maybe y'all forgot about it on the last episode, but I definitely want you to like go down and think about it. The destiny of souls. I'm gonna check that out. Let me see. Destiny of Souls.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, Destiny of Souls. I'm gonna check that out, especially since you recommended it, sir. I'm
Yeah.
going to check
Uh,
that out.
Hey, bro, I'm
Um,
gonna tell you real quick. I got to tell you real quick because I got my friends coming in and we're going to kick it for the night for a little while.
okay.
But check this out. Check this out. So you know how everyone's really missed, like, or has noticed that's in the truther community that there's
Right.
missing time, right? Missing
Yeah.
time. Like we're almost 100% sure about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, fucking, um, how would you do that? Like, if you're teaching public education, how would you do that? Keep lost time, 1,000 years, 2,000 years out of the picture, right? You would
Okay.
remove not only just teaching them verbally, but you would remove something from the sky because we know the sky is a timekeeping piece,
Right.
right? I mean, we all know that. As for
Right.
seasons, and signs
Time,
and wonders, right?
time, seasons,
All
days, and
right.
years.
So
Yeah.
so what would you have to remove to high time? Something
The
physical
stars.
from the sky. What's missing from the sky that everyone used to worship? The flying what? All cultures.
Not the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, no, the flying serpent, the fiery serpent, right? And the dragon. That is what's missing from is that zodiac. They took the 13th zodiac out. And every age, when the procession of the equinox come around, the every age is 2,160 years,
Right.
right? So I would say that's something to look into. That's interesting, right?
Well, I think we've discussed that before because
I've
it's
never heard
like,
nobody talk about that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
I mean, we
we
talked
know
about
that there's
the zodiac, just not the missing time
right.
from everybody's. Yeah, yeah.
So, all right,
I
Lock
mean, we
Smart.
may
Oh,
have.
Lock
I just
Smart.
don't
Good to
remember.
see you, sir. Lock Smart is saying, I heard there's 72 zodiacs. I'm gonna write that down so I
Ooh,
can actually
okay.
look that up. That sounds crazy.
Can you
So
tell us where you heard
here,
that at, Luck Smart? I'd like to look into it.
yeah,
Hey, I'm gonna mute up right quick. Let me welcome my guest. Hold on one second, okay?
yes, sir.
I'll be right back. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. So 72 zodiacs. That's wild. I ain't never heard of that. I've never heard of that. Heard there are 72 zodiacs. I'm gonna look at that. But I wonder from which culture this is from also, where you might have heard of 72 zodiacs and what culture is over there propagating this type of information. Crow 777. So eh, here's what I think so far, right? We have our zodiacs, but since we were lied to about everything else, how are we so sure that those zodiacs are the right zodiacs? And not necessarily by name, but rather by their configuration, right? How they're configured. Are we sure that the zodiacs that we see are configured properly in order for us to get the to benefit from what it is we're getting when we get it? I don't know if that really makes any sense, but to me it does, because we were to me it does, but strictly because I recognize that we've been lied to about everything. And so I've asked myself that question. Are those zodiacs correct that we see, not even that we see in the night sky, but as they've told us the zodiacs are, is that correct? Or is it configured some other way, right? With an extra star that we're not paying attention to. That should in fact be part of that constellation that, like, I was talking about Camelopardalis today, which the guy was shocked that I knew what Camelopardalis meant. It means fucking giraffe, right? And we were talking about that today, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, how do we know that that was supposed to be a thing, right? Um, Either way, they lied to us about everything. We're now starting to come into ourselves. But yeah, the whole timing aspect of it all. If we don't get a 13th zodiac until, I think is it every I'm thinking, is it every leap year that we get the 13th zodiac? Is it every leap year that we get um is it Ozokius? Okius? Oki Ozoki. I forget the name of the 13th zodiac, but apparently there is a 13th zodiac. It's in the old Bibles, right? I think in the Bibles from the 17th century, 16th century
Hey,
Bible.
they called it Draco. They called it Draco.
You sure it's Draco?
Yep. Yep. The dragon. Draco the dragon. But other cultures called it different things as well. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
because
I'll be right back. I'm gonna let
yeah,
you look
you
at
got
that.
it.
1 second.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm gonna go there and we are going to look at that. What's the 13th? What's the 13th? What's the name of the 13th zodiac? Ophiuchus. Yep, Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. Okay, it's not necessarily the serpent, but the serpent bearer. This constellation sits on the ecliptic path directly between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So, wow, between Scorpio and Sagittarius, because Scorpio is before Sagittarius. This is strange. So if it's how is it that it's between that's the thing is I never understood how the 13th zodiac worked. But if it's between Scorpio and Sagittarius, they're right next to each other. That's strange. How do you get that? While the sun does physically pass through Ophiuchus, meaning the sun technically crosses through 13 constellations rather than 12, it is not officially recognized in traditional 12 sign Western astrology. Why is it not included in the zodiac? The Babylonians, over 2,500 years ago, Babylonian stargazers developed the zodiac system. They deliberately divided the sky into 12 equal sections to neatly align with the 12 lunar months of their calendar, deciding to leave Ophiuchus out to keep the system simple. The NASA rumor. The 13th sign occasionally sparks panic online when people discover NASA pointed out this 13th constellation. However, NASA has clarified multiple times that they only study astronomy, not astrology, and were simply stating the astronomical math rather than attempting to change anyone's horoscope. However, check this out. It was 1996. I think it was 96, 95. They tried. I was looking at an article in the New York Times where they said that I am if whatever your sign is, you have to move it in a particular way. And then they went and they said that if you're a Capricorn, because I'm a Capricorn, I'm a December guy, Capricorn December, then you're another sign. If you're a Leo, then you're actually this sign. If you're an Aquarius, then you're actually this sign. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't give it much thought until I came into the True Earth Flat Earth, right? Where I was like, wow, okay, because they messed all of this up, because they lied to us about everything, we're probably missing time, and the zodiacs are probably off. And the zodiacs might not even be the zodiacs that they're telling us that they are. It might all be a lie. Who knows? They've lied to us about everything else. Shit, why not? Ophiuch- Ophiuchus, November 29th to December 17th. Yes, but Nate X, and good to see you, Nate X. Post anything too. Good to see you too. Yes, but Nate X, Ophiuchus, they said is in between. I don't know how it they managed to make that work. They say it's in between Scorpio, which is the beginning or the end of November, November 21st ish, 21st, 22nd, Scorpio into to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius begins on wait a minute. No. Yeah. So it's in between Scorpio, which is October, excuse me. It's October 21st. October 21st to November. How the hell? I don't know how the hell they put it in there. October 21st to November 21st. Yes, that's Scorpio. How the hell then did they put that in there? I'm confused. How did they put Ophiuchus in there? How? But I think this is where the leap year may come in. May. I'm not saying that I'm right. Maybe this is where the leap year comes in, where every fourth year, even time, you might have these anomalies taking place within the zodiac, within the astrology realm of things. Um, shit, I might be fucking it all up. I might be wrong altogether. That's a possibility. I've been wrong altogether before, so there's that. But still, the basics, the bare bones basics, as far as what the sun does and as far as what the moon does. The sun is the soul. The sun, the soul. So when you're born, where is the sun at that time? Is the sun hovering over particular part of the world that you want to come out in? And that's where that's where your soul gets spat out at. And here's what's crazy, right? When you're born, you come out of the canal, the birth canal or your C-section baby, and you are born. You're birthed. You're birthed. You're born. Your clock starts right then and there. If you're made, why doesn't your clock start when your heart beats? When you're created in your mother's womb? Your clock doesn't start. That's crazy. That's not your birthday. Around that time isn't your birthday. After you come out that womb, right? The day you come out that womb, that's when the clock starts. But one would think, or I'm wondering why one doesn't think, why we don't consider you being alive when you're in the womb. Does that make any sense to anybody? Do you know the question that I'm posing to you guys? Because when the sun is where it is that when you're birthed, when you're born, or when you're conceived? Is it a conception thing? Because now, after you've been conceived and there's a heartbeat established and everything else like that, and they know that you're being made to be born, at that point, is there a soul in that? I'm not trying to get deep and philosophical, but I'm just asking for astrology purposes. Is there a soul already within that baby that the mother's carrying? Right? So that when the baby is conceived, is that when the
Shit.
the
Hey, brother.
son's
Hey,
properties take
I don't
place?
mean to
Hold on,
interrupt you, man.
let me finish that point.
Yeah,
Hold on,
I
let me
gotta go.
finish. Oh, you gotta
All right,
go?
buddy.
All right, man.
Yeah, I
It's good
gotta
to
go.
see
My
you.
niece, everybody's here now, and I wasn't expecting them so soon. So, but
All
yeah,
right, man.
I'll hit you back up here in a little bit if you're on.
Yeah. All right, man. It's good to see you, family.
All right, brother. All
You have
right,
a
you
good
too,
night,
man.
man.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's RG, y'all. So, yeah, salts of salivation. No, salts of, I thought it was salivation. Salts of Salvation book recommends cell salts based on 3 missing months from conception to birth. Salts of Salvation. Write that down. Salts of Salvation. I've never heard of that. I have never heard. Book recommends cell salts based on the 3 missing months from conception to birth. Okay. So yeah, right. When conception takes place, is that your true zodiac, the month of your conception? Like if you're born in, say, November, right? but you're conceived in February. Is February that time frame, and whatever is in that zodiac, is that your true zodiac when you're conceived, or is it when you're birthed? Because when you're birthed, that's when they're like, all right, the time starts now. You're alive now. But so does that mean that you're not alive while you're in your mother's womb? Yes. Soul comes in at the spark of life. So then, Mr. Super Sidewinders, the question that I pose to you is, the soul is in the baby of is in the mother's womb, is in the mother's stomach. Is that where the soul is? The soul sitting in there in the mother's stomach, being brewed up, being made, right? Being baked in the mom's easy bake oven. Is there a soul in that unbirthed baby? Is my question. Or does it happen when the baby comes out of that canal or is C-sectioned? I'm curious. Because here I am sitting there wondering about this. I'm like, okay, well, the time you're born, the soul comes in. It's like, nah, probably how do I know? I don't know. Maybe the soul comes in when you're conceived and then the heartbeat is established. No, absolutely what, Mr. Super Sidewinder? Which one? Because this looks like it's kind of slow. This is kind of slow. The I guess the refreshing in StreamYard is kind of slow. Yeah, that's been my thing, because I've been getting interested in seeing when people are born. And here's another thing. There might be a correlation, y'all. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it just yet, but I think there's something there. Handedness. And this is something that I talk about all the time. Is the dominant hand of a person, right? Is when a person born, does that affect their hand dominance? Because I'm always questioning somebody's hand dominance. I'm always asking, hey, that guy, he's right-handed or left-handed? Or it's something that I notice off the top, especially if I see somebody writing with their left hand. I'm like, oh, that dude's left-handed. Oh, this girl's left-handed. Oh, this dude is left-handed. Oh, his kids are left-handed, right? Whatever reason it is, I'm asking for a friend. The thing is, I get along very well with left-handed people. I've got a lot of left-handed people in my life. It is what it is, right? I always do very well with left-handed people. Um, and that's something I've started to notice. Like, is there a time or a day, or is there a correlation as to when these people that are left-handed are born, and then they choose the not so common hand or not so common foot to be the dominant appendage in their life? What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Is there a correlation as to when they're born or where they're born? When and where they're born, and why it would make them left-handed? Do you think there's a correlation? I'm starting to think that there might be. I'm starting to think that this is not a random thing. I'm really starting to think that. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. But shit, we're already flat earthers. How much crazier can it get? If it gets crazy, I think that's normal, in my opinion. The crazier it gets, I think it's normal. Mm, sure. Hand dominance comes from the higher self. Okay, sure. But is it assigned during birth is my question. Is it assigned during birth and you just don't know it until you start using your hand? You just make a choice. Is it assigned at birth? Is it assigned at birth? And here's why I'm asking that, right? Because everything is cyclical. Everything is spirals. There's a golden ratio associated with it. Seems like there's a golden ratio associated with everything, right? The Fibonacci sequence associated with everything. You got the cowlick on the back of your head. You got the spirals and cowlicks on your fingerprints. You got them things when you flush a toilet, when you pour water down the drain. You got them inside of apples. You got them in when you see a fetus being born. They're everywhere. It's like they say, the fingerprint of God. Can the same be said? Are we spiraled in our thinking when it comes to dominance, hand dominance? I'm thinking there's a correlation. Maybe how we think is in some form of a spiral. How we think is in some form of a spiral, to where when we begin with something that feels natural to us. So maybe to the majority of us, it feels natural to spiral with our right hand. Whatever that, maybe I'm not saying it the right way. And maybe with other people, it's more natural to spiral in the counterclockwise direction, or with their left hand. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's a more scientific and a cleaner way for somebody else to say it, other than the way I'm saying it. Or maybe I'm just wrong altogether. Who knows? But left-handed in baseball. Yeah, you're ambidextrous. You're pretty ambidextrous in those things. Yeah, I'm a more accurate hitter when I swing lefty. I'm a more accurate hitter when I swing left than when I am. I'm a stronger hitter with my right, but I'm more accurate with my left. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So, just questions that I had and things that were sitting on the tip of my tongue, and I figured I'd put it out there and then let you guys kind of think about it, entertain it, marinate on it, and then give an answer. Or if it sparks some kind of thought within you, I'd love to hear what it is you guys are thinking about, right? In those regards. So, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna let you guys have it. I'm not gonna 90% of people are right-handed. Yeah, I know. I know. But what's crazy are the left-handed people that I've met and that I get along with and that I'm very close to still to this day in my life. Right? A lot of left-handed people. I just think it's strange. I just think it's strange. But whatever, man. I'm gonna let it ride. Anyway, family, that's all I got. I'm gonna let y'all have the rest of the day. I'm gonna leave you guys with my blessing. I wish you guys nothing but the best health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, most of all, wisdom, family. Be wise, be safe. Definitely look into the hours. I'm gonna come up with the donation page here shortly in the next day or two. In the meantime, you guys, the rest of the night is yours. I want you guys to have fun. Find me, catch me on TikTok, excuse me. And with that, family, I love you. I'm out. Let's get some Jefferson's action going here. Peace.